Okay, DK here from Mr. V Amps, and we're looking at a reverb pedal from our friends at AliExpress. It is a do-it-yourself kit. Don't get your OCD in a bunch, those are just stickers I put on there myself. I can move them into proper position so they're all lined up. So it uses one of the Electrolytic built-in digital reverb modules, which there's a ModKits DIY that does that also, that I built a long time ago that wasn't filmed. So I decided to put this one together. This is the big box version. They also make a small box version of it. I just wanted to see what it was like, what it sounded like. It sounds a lot like the other one that I have that uses the same type of modules. It's supposed to be a reverb module. You can tell it's got a little bit of a delay kind of thing going on. They're okay. They're neat. So our amp today is, you see it over here, that is our Smoke and Joe kit that we built around Christmas time. And we'll give it a test. Okay, so we'll try the guitar by itself, dry tone. And then we'll turn our stomp box on. I have the mix down, mix about half, the dwell is at a quarter, and the tone's in the middle. The tone seems to be kind of backwards on what you'd think. As you turn it this way, it gets clockwise, it gets darker, and as you turn it counterclockwise, it gets brighter. I can hear some kind of like chorusy thing going on, which my other one does that too. Let's take the mix back a little bit, and we'll try to bring the dwell way up. I hear chorus. I hear chorus. Okay, let's take the dwell back. Let's bring the mix up nice and strong. And let's see what we got. I would think this would sound really cool, like if you dimed out the mix and really brought up the dwell. If you were playing something really slow, you know. So anyway, there it is. It works fine. This has got the medium delay built-in device in it, or it's the medium reverb thing. Yeah, because the module comes in short, medium, or long. This is the medium one, and we'll go into the footage of it getting built. We'll see how it comes out. I tried to film through a magnifying lens so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So it might be a little weird to look at, but I hope it helps anybody who's interested in building one of these kits. Okay, good afternoon. DK here with Mr. V Amps. We're trying something completely different because whenever we do these videos, everybody always says, I can't see, your camera's out of focus. Well, yeah. And since all of my wonderful channel is not monetized, and I don't do really the donations, and we're a small channel and everything, and I don't care. It is what it is. So this is, you're looking at my project through a magnifying lens. That seems to keep the camera focused a little better. I hope you like it better, whatever. So this is a kit that came from AliExpress. It sells under the Lamb Tone or Protai Tone, that guy. I've done business with him before. And this is a new-ish kit. It is a reverb kit. There's his little Lamb Tone logo. These kits are usually fairly easy. Everything came packed inside of the shell here. So let's take a look at our components and what we have. This reverb thing uses one of those built-in reverb modules. There's two versions of this kit, one that fits in the smaller enclosure. This is the one for the larger enclosure. So we have a Accutronics Digilog Reverb BTR-DR-2H, and sometimes those say whether they are, oh yes, this is the medium delay length. Okay, cool. I didn't know which one they'd send. Okay, and there we got a circuit board, and I don't see directions on the circuit board, but I bet there are some, because the R numbers here, they're not, it doesn't say right on the board. There have been some boards that did, but not this one. So, okay. And then we have some, this looks like the capacitors and ICs in the bag there. And we have the resistors, the screws, some wires, which I think I need to go get my wire tools, and the battery clip, some little potentiometers, looks like the Klon style knobs from the kit that we have done once before, LED, and some rubber feet, and the power input and output jacks, and the Footswitch. Okay, good. Now we have the directions. Put those pots down there. Okay, Reverb kit list. Okay, so this is not really anything beyond a parts list, which is okay. We'll be able to figure out the board based on the pictures. You can see what goes where. We have drawings where all the components are going to go on this side, but the pots are going to go on this side. And then the board should go right up and mount there. And the LED over here will kind of stick up out of the board, very much like another kit we've done from these guys before. So that should be just fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start with the resistors, like we usually do, because they're the thinnest, flattest part. And these guys have a wonderful habit of labeling these, because these little 1/8 watt resistors are not always easy to read color-wise. So we have two of them that says 22K. So let's find the 22K here. Do I see 22K? I do. I see what? LED is marked as 22K? That doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. That would go to the... So R11 and R12 are 22K. So R11 and R12 are these two right there. And like I usually do, I'm going to install a good thwack of these resistors, and then we'll solder them all at one time. Okay, and it seems that these are going to be a tight fit, so you may need your pliers here. Give that a tug. Don't be too rough. If you're in my situation and you do have another box of resistors down the way, in the event that you do goof those, then you're probably in better shape. But if you don't, try to be careful. I'm yet to actually break one ever. But, so there's R11 and R12 at 22K. I try to get these all the way flush to the board. This is only a 9-volt circuit. It's very, very doubtful that anything will get even remotely warm or hot, and there's no advice about keeping things lifted high off the board like they do in the amp kits and things. So there's R11 and R12. Once I get them through, I just crisscross the leads so the resistor won't fall forward and out of the board. The next value I have is 10K, 10K goes on R3, R5, R7, and R13. Yeah. So I'm going to just insert all these resistors and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I now have all the resistors placed and we're going to begin the soldering process. I'm just going to solder a few and then clip a few leads just to make it easier to get to the things I need to solder on the next one. You know, take your time, double check. If you find that, you know, something isn't matching, like a particular resistor value you were expecting to find, you don't find, that usually means you probably put it somewhere else, and you should go find it wherever you did put it. Not that I just did that. Nope, no, I'd never do that. Never make mistakes here. Just cover them up well. But double check your work before you begin to solder this stuff down, and you'll be fine. Clip our leads. Now, did I, because I still have this laying on the bubble wrap, did I melt any bubble wrap on this? Doesn't look like it. That's a possibility. I should probably not be working on this bubble wrap because I can melt bubble wrap on my components, which probably won't hurt them. It's just going to look stupid. And I still have one more to solder over here before I can clip that whole onslaught. There's one more in here. See, this is the fun stuff about trying to do a whole group of them at a time. Just check your work as you go and you'll be fine. So, I think that's all of them. So we'll start clipping here. Alright. I do find it kind of amusing that on the sites that sell DIY electronic kits, internationally they refer to what I and you and probably everybody else would say soldering. It always says make sure you're experienced in welding electronics. Yep, we're gonna weld them. Get out the arc welder. No, not today. Oh, come on. I might need some more sharp cutters. These are working kind of poopy. These work great for guitar strings, fat things, but thin things I probably need to go get the precision set. Anyway, we'll trim these leads, solder up this mess, and then we'll move on. I think I just realized that the fluorescent light above your head was ruining your view. So, anyway, I like to do these in the order of the flattest things to the least flat things. So the resistors are kind of the flattest. The next thing that's flatter or pretty flat are these Icy Sockets. There are two of them. U1 and U2. I wonder if the U2 is got Bono singing songs about something, I don't know. But we can just put those in there, and then I am probably going to, let's take the bubble wrap back out of the way, and the screw, and I will just press this. I have a silicone mat down here underneath me. So if I just hold a thumb down on it, that will keep it in the socket. And many times what I'll do just to get these started, so I'll just put a little bit of solder on the iron here, just pin it down and then tack a pin and then tack the other pin, and that should keep it from falling out. And it didn't work that time. So, you know, it happens. But you can either bend a corner pin or you can tack each pin, but we want to get all of those soldered in. And I will do that, and then I will see you in a minute. There's an on-camera fail, and I'm going to leave it in. Okay, so the sockets are on. That's a good thing. And get a drink here. Stay hydrated while you're working, people. Alright. Next thing we want to do is we'll do, what else is kind of flat? Oh, I suppose there's a diode, D1, which is a 4001 diode. This should be the only diode. So let's find that in our stash of not resistors. Let's see here. Oh yes, there it is. So that's good. This will go in D1. Now this being a diode has to be a certain direction. So we want to make sure we put the white stripe with the white stripe. So we'll do that. Okay. And I think we have some room for some other things on here at the same time. But I suppose I should answer the phone. Okay, in case you were wondering, while I was on the phone, not only did I place the diode, but I also placed the non-polarized capacitors. On our list here, we have C1 is 100 picofarad, C2 is 474, which that's actually what, 4.47 nanofarads or 4. Bollocks, I gotta look to know. And then C3 and 4 are 223. So that's actually what it says on the capacitors. That just makes life easier. Some people are really, really good at that. I am dyslexic, so I actually cheat and look at the charts a lot because I will goof. If somebody said you need a 20 nanofarad capacitor or something like that, or a 22 nanofarad capacitor, I would actually have to look at what number that was when I ordered, because I would just mess it up. I cannot memorize that chart very well. It's like the resistor color code chart. We actually had to remember it in school many, many years ago, but anymore all of our boxes are sorted and labeled. And when I pull a sheet of resistors out, I just test, just test it, make sure it's what it has to be, and then it goes into the circuit. Memorizing all that stuff isn't going to save my neck. Eventually it might, if I'm working without a schematic and I got a blown open resistor, but we can consult our reference material. One of my wisest instructors years ago always said, they worked for the Navy doing electronics. They never ever took our manuals away. They just wanted it to work when we were done. So keep that in mind. Although maybe some of you who are in school or whatever are required to memorize those charts, it's good, it will help you speed up, but never be afraid to consult the manual as opposed to causing an epic failure. I think I heard a noise upstairs, which may indicate that the remainder of my family may be arriving to make a lot of noise upstairs. It's very quiet down here right now. Ooh, and the power just blinked. Did you see that? Camera's running out of battery. Wonder what made the power blink. It's raining outside, but it's not like a bad storm. I think it already quit and the sun's out. I don't know. Ooh. Alright, well, let me finish trimming this up, and then we'll start putting electrolytic capacitors in. Okay, for your electrolytic capacitors, they are polarized, and they will have the value written right on them. So in this case, this one is 100 microfarad, written as 100 UF, which will go in C6, 7, or 8 position, which are these three right here. The white indicates the negative there, so I'm going to line that up with the white on the board, push it down, and I don't think I'm even going to have to bend these leads. That isn't going to fall out, so that just fits nice and snug. Make sure that these are all 100 microfarad. They are. double check them, because sometimes you get two of them that are like the same physical size. Uh-oh. They must have expected me to have 100 microfarad 30 volts, and they shipped me 50 volts because of stock. See how that kind of fits a little snug on my board here? That's a little snug. They don't sit next to each other pretty. They're kind of blobbing in there. Ooh. Got three amigos there. What can we do to combat that? Let's see. Let's slide that out a little bit. And we'll put the middle one down all the way. And then I'll kind of catawampus the legs a little bit. Let's get our little bend-a-majig here and go 90 degrees this way. And then we'll come to the edge of the cap and turn them down like that. Let's see how that works. Does that work better? It does. That works better, much better. And now they'll all fit and look reasonable. I kind of jogged that over a smidgen more than I want to because I'm concerned about the width of the module. When that goes down, let's actually see how wide that actually is. I think we will be okay there. And we'll do the same to this capacitor, but we won't quite go as far over. We'll give this a little bend this way, and then we'll come real tight to it and give that a little 90-degree leg bend. And then when we insert that in there, it will hopefully not be mashing up against the other capacitor horribly. And I think that sits much better, so we're going to go with that. Solder those in. You're not supposed to breathe solder fumes, kids. It's supposed to be bad for you or something. Stay away from lead, whatever. Okay, so yeah, those are soldered on. We'll clip the leads there and then move on to some more electrolytic capacitors. Okay, so making progress. Got the, I soldered the other one, the 10 mic cap over here. And I'm realizing the Footswitch being unlabeled over here is going to be quite the challenge. Usually what I do is I just check on the website for pictures. We'll see what happens there. But we do have a transistor. This is U4. It needs to go in here. And transistor U4 is supposed to be a 78L 05, which that appears to be what we have here. Sometimes the writing on these is lousy, so we'll have to bend the one leg back here, get that popped in. There we go. Set that one down there good. That looks good. It's below everything else. Forget to clean the solder tip and then it doesn't work well. And I have to answer the phone. Okay, so we made a little more progress here. I put the battery clip on. That wasn't too complicated. I still have the input-output jacks. I need to put the ICs in their sockets. I need to put the module on, and I need to figure out how to wire up the Footswitch. I actually did look online for some clues on how to wire up the Footswitch. I did not find exactly what I was looking for, but I did find enough material that I should be able to weed it out and figure it out. So that's fine. The first mix one here is supposed to be a 10K, and I don't see that these are well labeled, so great. I don't see any marking on these whatsoever. Ah, here we go. This one says B10K, so we know that's a 10K. This one says B20K. So, by deductive reasoning, the third one should be a 50K, right? This is 20K when this calls for 25. No, it is 25K. And apparently somebody else wants to talk to me. And just like magic, it's all finished. I know. You're probably mad at me, but I had to concentrate. We got all the components in the board, and then we soldered the wires on where all the wires go. So let's just go over this, because the Footswitch I had to figure out, and then I had to troubleshoot it because the dumb thing didn't work. It turns out that this is a double-sided board, so I did not have quite enough through. I didn't have the voltage on pin 1, which is plus 5 volts. I looked this up. See, I got the little thing for the reverb module, and I realized that, you know, there's supposed to be 5 volts on pin 1. I checked on the pad, I had 5 volts. I checked up on the pin, I didn't have 5 volts. Well, duh, there you go. There's why it's not working. So let's talk about where the wires on this go, because that's probably what everybody's going to want to know. What I did here is they have, on the in jack, there is square, circle, circle, as far as the pad shape go. Square is your tip, which is the center pin of your 1/4 inch jack. The middle is the switch, which is the kind of the second part of the stereo jack. And then the third one over here is the ground, so that's your ring. So you have tip, ring, switch. Tip, switch, ring. Okay. On the output jack, there is no switch, so you're just doing tip. Well, there is on the switch, but you're not actually using it. So the square is going to be tip, which is right here, and then this is ring right there. Okay. And then for the power, you have your DC input jack. Again, you have square, circle, circle. The square will go to this outside post that is not L-shaped. White will go to the inside post that is not L-shaped, and the black will go to the L-shaped post, which is your center pin, because these are pin negative. Okay? The battery just goes to the normal plus minus. Now here's the Footswitch that'll kill you. I actually had to trace this, and I figured it out. I did a little bit of looking. There's another version of this that fits in a smaller enclosure, and I was able to see the traces on the board. This one I can't see the traces on the board, so I had to figure out what we were doing. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll call these, the square will be pin 1, so we'll call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1 will go to the lower left terminal. Okay, pin 2 will go to the center terminal. Pin 3 will go to the far right terminal. Pin 4 will go to the left center terminal. Pin 5 will go to the bottom center terminal. And pin 6 will go to the right center terminal. And then to make the true bypass work, you will need to bridge the upper, you can see my little wire here, you bridge the upper left and upper right terminals together. So all of the terminals will have wires with the exception of the center top. And you're looking at this upside down compared to where I am, so I'll flip it over for you. We'll go over it again. Pin 1 to there. pin 2 to here, pin 3 to here, pin 4 to here, pin 5 to here, so this one right here, and pin 6 to here, and then connect these two together. Okay, that's how that works. And that should complete the pedal. The pedal is working. I haven't figured out which controls are which because they're not labeled. Good, well, good. Let's just see if I can figure this out. So this is the 50K, which is the middle pot. The middle pot is supposed to be tone, and this one's supposed to be dwell, and this one's supposed to be mix. I suppose I'll go get the labeler and label that. For the LED also, put the holster in, screw that in, and then push the LED forward from the board till it lines up and goes in there. Then tack it with the solder. Okay, so we'll put this together and see how it sounds after we finish labeling it.